Hey guys, what is going on? Lego Man 123 and welcome back to another video. Today I'll be possibly predicting 4 Lego Indiana Jones sets for 2022. So without further ado, let's get into it. However, before I do get into my predictions, I just want to quickly explain why Lego Indiana Jones could be possibly coming back. And the reason behind this is because we recently got news for 4 Lego sets from set 75571 to 75574, and this was entitled under the name of Coconut, which is a reference to the Lego Indiana Jones game too, because coconuts did play a crucial role because you exactly needed 4, which refers to the 4 sets, and you needed to collect them to actually repair a fair stand. Firstly is set 75571, and this would possibly be a set for the Raiders of the Lost Ark. My first prediction is the opening scene to the Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I think if Lego Indiana Jones is to return in 2022, this has to be a must, because this set or scene alone is what started the Lego Indiana Jones franchise, and I definitely think a recreation of this set would just be the perfect start to Lego Indiana Jones returning in 2022, and I would definitely love to see a new updated version of this. Then another set could possibly be a bigger or updated version of a set similar to this, which was the ambush in Cairo. I would definitely love to see a bit more of a bigger version with more market stalls, and possibly when Marion does get kidnapped by the sort of henchman of the real bad guy. So I would definitely really love to see an updated version of this set, just with more detail. Then the final set that I did predict, which could possibly be a Raiders of the Lost Ark set, is the Tomb. However, I don't think they would include this because with the new rules of LEGO, I don't think they can include religions or ideologies, but I'm not too sure if this set would primarily be under those guidelines. But I would definitely love to see an updated version of this, and instead of a brick built version of the tomb, I definitely think they could do a really awesome mold with the detailing of the eagles, and I definitely think they could do a bit more of a better job of the statues with some really great pieces, and I think the minifig selection also would be definitely really cool. Then we have set 75572, and this could possibly be a set for the Temple of Doom. The first set that I did predict for the Temple of Doom was the opening car chase, because I definitely think we need an updated version of this set. But don't get me wrong, I definitely think the design for the cars back then is definitely really awesome. I think they look really accurate to the actual cars in the movie. However, I would definitely love to see an updated version of the set, and instead of just having minifigs and the 2 cars, I definitely think they can include a lot more. However, I have a feeling that this won't be a Temple of Doom set, and the reasoning behind that is because of the inclusion of gangsters and a sort of gun battle, which I think is part of the guidelines of the new rules for LEGO. But a set that I think would most definitely make a Temple of Doom set is an updated version of the Temple of Doom. However, unlike this set, if they were to do an updated version, I feel like they would get rid of the skull with the stones in it, because that alone has its own sort of religion and ideology, and I think with the new rules of LEGO and the guidelines, I don't think they'll be able to include that. However, I definitely think this would be a huge possibility for a Temple of Doom set, because it would just be really awesome with an updated version of the different tracks and all that, with the sort of lava and the sort of rocky texturing. And I think with an updated version they could make it a lot more bigger, very similar to the many roller coasters that we have seen, and I would love to see just a bigger version of the set. Then we have set 75573, and this would be a set for the Last Crusade. But I must say, out of all the movies, this was probably the hardest one to actually come up with a few ideas for sets. And I actually only did get 2, because there is quite a lot of religion and ideology. And as I have been saying, with the new guidelines of Lego, I don't think they'll be able to include like a number of things for like a number of reasons which do appear in this movie. My first idea is actually quite simple, and it does have some very similar ideas to when the Last Crusade Lego sets originally did come out, and that is just a very small set with Indiana Jones or Junior and his father in like that sort of bike chase they do have, and I would definitely love to see like an updated version of that set, but I'm not too sure like what they could add more to this set because I definitely think the minifig selection is perfect and I think the build is also pretty accurate, so I think they could just make it like a little more bigger. Then the final set that I did think of for The Last Crusade was the climactic part when Indiana Jones was on the tank. However, I don't think they would include this set due to like the tank representing like warfare. But I would definitely like to see Lego tackle a tank design because I don't think we've like ever seen it before. But as I said, I don't think they would include it due to it representing warfare. However, I could possibly see them like creating some sort of facade for a tank, very similar to this scene here where they have like the sort of rock landscape and then like a very small section of the tank and then like Indiana Jones in the two. I can definitely possibly see that, but apart from that, I really could not think of any other set for The Last Crusade. Then the final possible set for Lego Indiana Jones is set 75574, and this would represent the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. The first set is an updated version of the Graveyard Battle or the Cemetery Battle, and I definitely think that could make such a fun set because I definitely think the scene in the movie was really suspenseful. And I definitely think an updated version would be needed because unlike this set, which is primarily on like one sort of base, I think Lego could do like two stories in a way. So like the first part of the layer would be like the cemetery where like they're battling the sort of people who are trying to kill them, and then the second layer would be like where the or like where they're trying to find the crystal skull with like the bones and all that. And I definitely think that would work a lot more better instead of all just being on like one sort of base. Then just a small set. This could primarily just be for like updated versions of all the minifigs, and I definitely think that could be the case for the set. Just make like a very small but updated version for like the campsite, but just primarily focusing on the minifigs like with the new variants and all that. And I would just love to see like updated versions of the very small builds because I definitely think Lego could make it even better, and I would really like to see like an updated version of the tent. Then the next set I was actually quite hesitant to include because it does have like tribal people and like their own sort of religion in the movie, but I think it's such a key set to include to actually close off Indiana Jones' adventures in like the first four movies. And I think Lego could very easily take away those minifigs and sort of modify it a bit to not actually include that because, as I said, it's such a key set to have, and I definitely think an updated version would look really awesome. Then the final set for the Crystal Skull wouldn't necessarily just be for that movie because I did think it could be a good way to actually tie all the movies together by including a number of Easter eggs throughout Indiana Jones' journey, and we did see that in the car sort of chase where they smash some crates, and we did see the Ark, but I think they could do one step further and actually include a number of Easter eggs throughout the movies, and I definitely think that could be really awesome. But also including like the sort of chasing where like they're chasing after Indy, but as well as including a number of Easter eggs to sort of tie up the wave of sets before actually beginning with the new ones. So, hope you guys did enjoy this video because I really did enjoy creating it and also coming up with these ideas, but also sticking with Lego's rules and guidelines about like religions and ideologies. That was probably like the hardest part, but I most definitely very interested and also pretty excited to see what Lego do. And I just hope with like the evidence we have gotten that these are Indiana Jones sets, because it would just be like really awesome, and I definitely think it would be such a great opportunity to do it before like the new movie comes out. And I would just love to see what Lego could do with these sets. Are they going to have like completely new ones or like updated ones? I'm very excited. But I would definitely love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. And as always, guys, hope you guys did enjoy this episode and see you soon. Goodbye!